I 29M just realized my entire life was a financial scam designed by my parents to make my sister 24 if the princess they never had. And I was the bank that funded her throne. I don't even know why I'm writing this. I guess it's because for the first time in my life, I said no to my family, and they treated me like I was the devil. I'm still shaking. The silence after I hung up on my mother was so loud it's ringing in my ears. Let me rewind. I 29M come from what you'd call a traditional South Asian family, but I'll tell you right now, tradition is just a fancy word my parents use when they want control. I was the firstborn, the son, the one who was supposed to carry the legacy or whatever. But guess what? That didn't mean love. It meant responsibility. It meant I was expected to be the parent to my own parents. My sister Mira, 24F, was born 5 years after me. She was the miracle baby. My mom almost died during labor with her, and from that day forward my parents changed. Or maybe their real selves came out. She was the golden child, the untouchable one. She never did chores, never got punished. While I got grounded for bringing home a B+, she got a fucking party for passing her classes with DS. And me, I was the one raising myself. My dad made me start working part-time when I was 15. Real men earn their keep, he said, as if I didn't already cook for myself, walk my sister to school and help with the bills. I paid for my own phone, clothes, and later college, while Mira got a brand new iPhone every 2 years and drove a car I didn't even know we could afford. College was my escape. I went to a state university on scholarships, worked 3 jobs, and barely slept. I majored in computer science and started interning for a tech company. When I graduated, I got hired full-time with a $120K salary. It felt like freedom, but the golden handcuffs were already in place. My mom cried on the phone the first time I got my paycheck. Cried. "We're so proud of you," she said. Then she started with the guilt. "Now we can finally breathe. Your father's back is killing him from working construction. Your sister needs help with college. You understand, right?" Of course I understood. I was the good son. So I started sending money. $500 at first, then $1,000, eventually $2,000 a month. My rent in the Bay Area was a nightmare, but I budgeted, cut corners, and sent whatever I could. I found out later Mira wasn't even using the money for tuition. She dropped out of community college after 1 semester. She wanted to be a makeup influencer. My parents supported her, bought her a whole studio setup. Guess whose credit card they used? I didn't find out until I was rejected for a mortgage and pulled my credit report. There were accounts I didn't recognize. Loans. A fucking Best Buy credit line. Turns out my mom had co-signed on a bunch of things for the house using my info. I confronted her and she cried again. Said she was sorry. Said she thought I'd be proud they were upgrading their life. I didn't press charges. Of course not. I'm the good son, remember? Then the tipping point came last week. Mira is now engaged to a guy who sells crypto NFTs or some shit. They want a destination wedding in Bali with 200 guests. My parents called me and said they need $40,000, $40, $1,000, like it was normal, like it was expected. I laughed. I genuinely laughed out loud. Why would I pay for that? I asked, and my mom went ballistic, full-on screaming, sobbing meltdown. After all we've done for you. How dare you act like this isn't your responsibility? She's your only sister. That's when something inside me broke. I told her, you didn't raise me, you used me. Silence. I went on. You never gave me love. You gave me obligations. You treated Mira like a princess and me like a wallet. I'm done. I'm out. I'm not giving you another dollar. And then the quietest thing she ever said. So this is how you abandon your family. I hung up. My phone hasn't stopped buzzing since. Voicemails, messages. My aunt even got involved, calling me heartless. But for once I feel clear, like I can breathe. I still haven't cried. I think I'm too angry. Angry at how I was manipulated. Angry at myself for falling for it. Angry that love in my family was so transactional. I started therapy last month. My therapist asked me what I wanted from life. I said, peace. I think this is what peace feels like. Heavy, loud, but honest. Oh, I didn't think I'd be writing an update this fast. Honestly, I thought I'd just go low contact and disappear, maybe vanish from the family group chat and try to start over quietly. But it turns out that when you stop playing your assigned role in a toxic family, the whole damn circus tries to drag you back in. Here, what happened? After I told my parents, I wasn't giving them money for Mira's 40K circus wedding and cut them off. I started getting calls from every direction. Cousins, uncles, people I hadn't spoken to in years suddenly found the time to call and tell me what a disgrace I was. My parents apparently were telling everyone that I stole money from them and abandoned them after they sacrificed everything for me. Yeah, okay. I ignored it all mostly, until I got a call from my bank. They flagged a suspicious attempt to open a personal line of credit in my name, using an old address, my parents' address. That's when everything snapped. I went into fight mode. All those little things I'd brushed off over the years, those credit cards I never applied for, the student loans I didn't remember signing, the mysterious charges, they were mistakes. They were part of a pattern, a system, a well-oiled fraud machine, and I was the fuel. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I lawyered up. Turns out, when you make $120K a year in tech and live frugally, you can afford a damn good attorney. I showed her everything. My credit report, bank statements, old emails from my mom pretending to be me for bank stuff, and even texts where she admitted to using my info because she was desperate. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "We have a case, but it's going to hurt." And it has hurt. Walking into that police station to file a report against my own parents was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. I felt like I was betraying my ancestors or some shit. My hands were shaking the whole time. The officer was surprisingly compassionate, especially after seeing how much debt they'd racked up in my name. Almost $48,000 across various accounts, not including the damages to my credit score and the tax nightmares I still have to untangle. As of now, a formal investigation is underway. My parents haven't been arrested, yet, but they've been notified, and they are furious. I've gotten voicemails that range from unhinged sobbing to my dad screaming that I'm trying to put my mother in jail over a few little mistakes. No, Dad. Fraud isn't a mistake. It's a crime, and Mira. She actually DM'd me on Instagram because I blocked her everywhere else, saying that I was jealous and that I had trauma dumped all over Reddit for pity. She said I should have just let it go and that real men take care of their families. I left her on read. I don't owe them a single fucking thing anymore. My lawyer is also helping me file to legally remove my name from any remaining COSIN debts, and she thinks we have a solid case to pursue reparations for at least part of the stolen money. It won't erase the years I lost or the emotional damage, but it's something. I've started writing down everything, every memory, every moment where I twisted myself into knots to be the perfect son. I'm realizing now that love in our house was always conditional. Conditional on obedience, on silence, on sacrifice. But the moment I chose myself, I became the villain. And you know what? If being the villain means being free, then I'll wear that crown proudly. It's been 5 months since I filed the police report against my parents for identity theft and fraud. I've been meaning to write this update, but honestly, I wanted to wait until the dust settled. Well, the dust didn't settle. It exploded. Now, let me tell you what happened next. The investigation went public, turns out. Identity theft investigations move a lot faster when the fraud is that extensive and provable. My lawyer compiled a complete dossier, forged signatures, email impersonations, even security footage from a Best Buy where my mom used my ID to pick up a finance MacBook for Mira's YouTube channel. They were caught dead to rights. When the police showed up at their house to deliver the official notice of criminal charges, Mira had the audacity to live stream the interaction on TikTok and try to frame it as immigrant parents being harassed by a racist system. Yeah, no, that backfired hard. People in the comments dug everything up. And when they found out I was the one pressing charges, the whole thing spiraled. You see, the internet loves drama, but they hate grifters even more. Mira got cancelled. Big time all those followers Mira had on TikTok and Instagram. Gone. Sponsors. Dropped her like a radioactive potato. She tried to play the victim card until someone found screenshots of her DMing me saying I should man up and let her have her dream wedding. Those screenshots went viral. She deleted all her accounts. Tried to come back under a different username. Got outed again. She never got her Bali wedding. Her crypto bro fiancé dumped her the week after the charges hit. His words, according to mutuals, "I didn't sign up to marry a broke felon." She moved back in with my parents. And speaking of them, My parents lost everything. My dad lost his job after his employer was made aware of the charges. Apparently, stealing your son's identity to rack up nearly 50K in fraudulent debt isn't a good look for a man working with clients' financial info. My mom, who used to walk around the neighborhood bragging about her daughter's influencer life, is now the pariah of the community. Nobody talks to her. Some family members tried to defend them until they saw the evidence, and the best part, they were forced to pay. My lawyer filed a civil suit on top of the criminal one. We proved willful identity theft and emotional abuse, and the court ordered them to repay every penny, plus damages. Total owed $74,632. They tried to contest it. They lost their house, liened, car repossessed, retirement savings. Gone, they begged me to settle. My mom showed up at my apartment, crying, clutching a photo of me as a baby. I shut the door in her face. I donated $10K of the settlement to a shelter for adult survivors of family abuse because I want the cycle to end. For me, for anyone else who lived that good kid nightmare, my life now. Peaceful, quiet, real, in therapy. I've built better boundaries. I even started dating again, not to fill a hole, but because I feel whole enough to let someone in. I no longer look over my shoulder wondering which emergency I'll have to drain my savings for. I no longer flinch when the phone rings. I finally feel like my life is mine. And I hope Mira, my parents, and anyone else who builds their happiness on someone else's suffering learn this. Eventually, the bank closes. The ATM walks away. And Karma, she doesn't knock. She kicks the fucking door in.